Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I got derailed so hard that I missed the button to go live when the countdown ended. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Welcome to Delve Requisite. It's another Tuesday night here on Proficiency Bonus. And we're here with the crew of the Grimm's Folly for our piratey adventure of our campaign. Our campaign in two parts. No, that's not that. That doesn't make sense. Our campaign told in two perspectives. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's take care of our housekeeping business. Before we go any further, let's thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Little Dragon Corp is a Canadian-based dice company that sells dice. You guessed it. They sell all of the tabletop gaming dice that your heart could ever desire, including my world-famous green screen dice that don't show up on stream. And if you are in need of a new set of dice and you decide to purchase some from our friends at Little Dragon Corp, you can use our code PROBONUS for a 10% discount on your order. That's right. Tell them we sent you and you will save some money. Cardboard Castle Games is a brick-and-mortar tabletop RPG store located in the United States in Evans, Georgia. If you are not located in the United States in Evans, Georgia, fear not, because they have a robust online site that you can buy all of their fine products from, and they will send them to your house. So thank you to Cardboard Castle Games for sponsoring us. Make sure at any point tonight, if you want to link to either of those sponsors, you type !CCG or !Little Dragon, and you will get a link to those websites, which I'm sure have already been posted in chat as we were discussing this. So thank you to our two sponsors, and let us proceed with tonight's episode. As is tradition, I will now find something to do to occupy myself for roughly the next 1 minute and 30 seconds, while Brittany gives us a recap of last week's episode. Take it away.
So previously with the Delve Requisite group of the Grimm's Folly, after the death of Captain Thorne, the crew headed towards the Ignian ship nearby to find the promised pardon and anything of use on board, while Captain Murderbeard and First Mate Thixus raid the Commodore's quarters and succeed in their quest to find the pardon. Thixus realizes the key he found on the Commodore's body is not to anything in the quarters, and through a momentary flashback, realizing it probably goes to a bank vault, which is probably in the middle of the Ignian Empire. So that's a problem for another day. Meanwhile, Nimue, Scylla, and Rowan guarded their friends as they searched the quarters, each of them with a little bit of more bloodlust than might be usual for the ladies, as they were just kind of over the death and losses at that point. Once on board the Naporian ship deemed the Don't Try Us, Captain Murderbeard took the helm, and the group re-engaged in the ongoing ship battle with the remaining pirate captains and Ignian ships that were still floating. Murderbeard surprised the group as he displayed some new powers, and Thixus and Scylla used some other well-timed magic, assisted by a strange magic surge from Thixus, which turned Scylla into a 100-foot-long constrictor snake, allowing her to begin the process of wrapping her body around an enemy ship as the storm clouds above churned and lightning started to strike down on the ocean. And that is where we left off last time.
All right, thank you. So, we're going to pick up...
Gumby?
I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off last time, in the exact moment that we left off, as an enormous sea monster version of Scylla has come erupting out of the ocean to wrap herself around the enemy vessel that had been hot in pursuit of their pirate cohorts. Thixus, as we had stated previously, currently Super Saiyan. His hair has turned yellow and is sticking straight up in the air as the wild magic surge flows through him, causing this extra powerful version of his enlarge reduce spell. So I think the way that I want to handle this is let's roll initiative 3. We're going to roll 3 initiatives. We're going to roll initiative for the enemy ship, we're gonna roll initiative for Sela, the sea monster, and we're gonna roll initiative for like the rest of you collectively, including the Grimm's Folly. So on like the enemy ship's turn and Sela's turn, obviously like each of them will take an action. On like your guys' collective turn, any of you individually can like do a thing, as well as you can like tell me that like a thing you want to do with the I guess technically the Don't Try Us, right? Because you're not on the Grimm's Folly right now. You're on the Don't Try Us. So let me just flip through a lot of pages that Emily wrote butts on my notes and get to a blank page. Okay, here we go. So go ahead and let's roll those initiatives.
Still, got a 13.
Okay.
And I realized I didn't have any of my dice over here.
Just tell me who among you is going to roll for the rest of the crew.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. Then I'm going to put you guys at 19A. I'm going to put the Ignians at 19B. And Sela will be at 13. Okay. So, let us... the crew of the Grimm's Folly, less Sela on the Don't Try Us. You guys can take kind of the first collective action here. If I am remembering correctly, the ship that is currently that was being pursued that you guys are helping was
It was the one that was like in a 1v1 with
yes,
like the guy.
I'm pulling up my
The
captains
Gilia,
here.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes, which is Barton, Sea Dog Barton's ship.
Yeah, they were struggling, so we were like, let's help.
Yes, we rushed
Right.
over
So
there.
the Grimm's Folly basically like smoke screened the Gilia from the other ship, so they're kind of like just running interference right now. The Shrike is also actually I'll roll initiative for the Shrike as well since they're coming up, so they'll go last. The Shrike finished off the finished off the ship that it and the Grimm's Folly were fighting, and is like coming up on this fight as well. Because as we remember, they, as far as they know, you still have their captain with you guys. And the Ignian ship has currently been wrapped up by Sela. So Grimm's Folly crew, what is it that you guys would like to do? You are pretty close to the Ignian ship, which has got the sea monster wrapped around it right now. I will say, just for sake of anything that you guys might be thinking you want to do, if you wanted to try some sort of a boarding action, you are close enough probably to do that.
Thixus being in Super Saiyan mode, can he still like respond and act in this current state that he's in,
Yes,
or is it more
I think
like
so.
a
Yeah, because I don't want to take away your agency to like
Okay.
be a part of this. There will probably
Okay.
be repercussions from the amount of magic like flowing from wherever you draw your magic from through you and out into the world afterwards. But for now, like you are still able to to proceed here.
well, Thixus using his intelligence will try to I guess take away some of the communication barriers that this ship has. Is there a crow's nest and some an individual in the crow's nest currently?
There is a crow's nest. You can see up way above you. There is there's an Ignian soldier in the crow's nest who is basically looking down and is like holding on for dear life as the vessel is like rocked and listing to and fro as this big sea snake is on it. But yes, you do see a crow's nest and you see an Ignian sailor up there.
Thixus like growling and raging with arcane power through this enlarged spell, and watching Sela is just going to throw a firebolt up and try to hit that guy out of the crow's nest.
All right, roll the hit.
All right. That's poor. That's a 10.
A 10. So you you launch this firebolt up, and it like streaks through the air. But since you're at such a low angle, the firebolt like slams into the side of the crow's nest, and you see that soldier from within like kind of throws themselves backwards beneath the lip of the crow's nest.
And for the remainder of my turn, I'm just going to keep concentrating on Enlarge and waiting for that sea serpent to just rip that ship in half.
Okay.
Can I do something after seeing Thixus struggle a little bit?
You can do whatever you want. All other three of you
I have something to
in
do,
that
but you can go.
can all do something, as well as
Yeah.
doing something with the ship if you'd like.
I think she half considered jumping onto the ship and boarding, but she is pretty tired. And she's still holding her bow, so instead of like shooting it across, she's gonna aim up and
Okay.
try and knock this guy off his like I'm gonna
Okay.
aim for his like arms.
The guy in the crow's nest that Thixus just took a shot at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure,
I see
roll to
where
hit.
he's going, and I'm like, all right, I'll match that.
All right, roll the hit.
All right. Oh yeah, 17 plus 7.
Yes, that will definitely hit. Even despite the partial cover that he has from being up in the crow's nest up that high, you definitely clip him. Go ahead and roll some damage.
That is 9 damage, and I'm going to bump it with some psychic damage.
Okay.
I believe it's deep and light. 10! That means I go back down to a D8.
Okay. So you loose this arrow. It flings up in that direction just as this guy like rights himself from ducking beneath the firebolt and like leans back out to see what's going on. He catches an arrow like right in the meat of his like shoulder, and he's sort of like flung backwards against the back like lip of the crow's nest. And then the follow up pulse of like psychic shock ripples through, and he's like and loses his balance and goes toppling over the side of the crow's nest like hitting the deck with a pretty gnarly crunch of wood and bones. And
Does he Wilhelm scream?
Yeah, absolutely. He had to.
Does the Wilhelm scream include the Doppler effect, or is that a different thing? Because it's sort of a reverse Doppler effect, where he gets quieter and gets louder as he falls closer to you, because he's like...
It's a reverse Wilhelm, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, so yeah, you knock that soldier out of the crow's nest, and he falls
look at
down.
like nod. I'm like, do you have any other suggestions? I have one more shot.
There are like
Thixus just points to some random one.
Yeah, there are like to give you an idea, there are soldiers all over the deck of this Ignian ship. It is the very picture of like a panicked group of sailors like aboard a ship that is currently being attacked by a sea monster. Like they're all getting like pikes and stuff ready to like fight this sea monster. So there's guys running all over the place. So you can just take your pick of anybody.
Wait, that one. I don't trust that one.
Yeah, okay. I choose whatever one that he wanted me to. 17 to hit.
Yes, you hit. I don't even worry about damage. You just like you shoot another guy and he is arrowed. A group of guys who is in the process of trying to like tie down a rope on a piece of like rigging that has come loose as Sela is like rocking the boat around, and you like strike the guy who is in like the front of the group. And it seemed like he was kind of anchoring the most of the weight of everybody's grip, because as he goes down, the rest of them like are pulled forward, and this rope goes loose, and rope goes
good call, Thixus.
Swinging off into the rigging. A piece of sail on the canvas of the sail like falls out of alignment.
Shot. That one was bad news.
Rowan and Murderbeard, do you guys do
called
anything?
it.
I'm really quick because I saw Thixus go Super Saiyan over here and saw him kind of like fade a little with the magic surge, because I think it did a little bit of damage to him.
It
last
did
time,
a
if I
little bit of
remember
psychic
correctly.
damage, I believe.
I'm going to kind of like grab him by his upper arm and like kind of like haul him back up to a bit more sturdy stand.
Okay.
And I'm going to drop a Cure Wounds at level 2 into Thixus, because I'm so
Ooh.
sick of him going down
Okay.
so low and getting so scary.
If you think a level 2 Cure Wounds is going to keep Lexus alive...
I can hope. I can hope.
I'm just joking.
Try your best, Vivi. We believe in you.
So that's 13
Nope.
points of healing to Thixus.
Nice, thank you. I do appreciate
Was
it.
I half
I
your
am
health?
grateful.
Yeah, is that like half your health at that point?
That's like half my
Half,
health,
yeah.
And I just look at him, I go, stop getting hit by things! And I'm gonna put my shield between Thixus and the ship.
Aw.
Okay.
Lexus will do this. He'll like flick your shield. Ting ting. Some of us don't have this, you know.
That's why you stay by me, Thixus!
Alright, Murderbeard, anything?
No, unless we're not planning on boarding, so Murderbird is just sort of focusing on not crashing the ship into this other ship being attacked by a giant monster.
Okay. Alright, so you're just going to pilot you tend to pilot the Don't Try Us right now. Alright, the Ignians are going to respond. What they do, I think they're a little busy. They're a little busy to pay much mind to you guys on the Don't Try Us at this point, or the Shrike coming up. They're going to focus primarily on the sea monster currently attacking their ship. So I'm going to roll 3 separate attacks. A critical failure.
I also like how all of us avoided boarding the ship that our current sea monster companion is trying to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, you could board
I mean,
it.
then I thought
No,
about doing anime jumps around Seela's body, like, like the Naruto shit.
There you go.
I thought about it, but I'm like, nah, Seela's got this. This is all
What-
Seela's show.
Yeah,
What is your AC as a big old constrictor snake?
So, enlarge doesn't do anything to that, so my armor class is 12.
12. Okay, so you get hit. You're gonna take two hits as the Ignians on the deck, gather
boy.
up and attempt to basically a bunch of spears and hatchets. It's a lot of the things that you would recognize as being the gear that gets passed out when it's time to repel boarders. In this case, there's not really boarding ropes and grapples and things like that to try and repel so much as it's snake. So they come at you with a bunch of guys come at you with where one of your coils is wrapped around the deck. They come and start just stabbing with spears. So you're gonna take 7 points of piercing damage from these Ignians as they attempt to repel you. And you see one of them who you gauge to either be the captain or one of the officers is in the process of they are rallying together a bunch of guys, getting a big net ready. Basically, it looks like they're gonna come and try and go kind of up onto the stern castle and try and net your head essentially.
Well, you said 7 points of damage?
7
Sorry,
points of
it
damage.
deleted the wild shape from my sheet for just no reason. Good thing giant constrictor snakes have the most HP of any shape I can take
There
right
you go.
now.
So that's gonna be the Ignian's turn. Seela, the seal of the snake. That's gonna bring us to you.
Yeah, so
I have
my
a special mechanic for you. If you would like to hear it before you do anything else.
I mean, sure. I really have 2 things that I can do. So,
Okay.
what do you have?
So I mean, one of your snake's abilities is constrict, right? Which does a certain amount of damage. So I mean, basically, the mechanic that I have for you is basically just that on steroids, where you can basically roll an opposed strength check against the ship. Against the integrity of the ship, and if you beat it, you will do a bunch of crushing damage to the ship.
Yeah, I was gonna just constrict it, so let's do it.
All right. So go
Hey
ahead and
Matt, I
roll.
have a question for you.
Go
I have
ahead.
a question for you. In D&D, there's a mechanic called a siege monster.
Okay.
Where where a someone who attacks a like fort
A
or an
structure,
object
building,
gets
sure.
double damage against objects?
This is very much going to work like that.
Okay.
She is going to do a bunch of extra damage if she successfully pulls off this maneuver.
So, a strength check?
Yes.
Okay, now, so here's the thing. The enlarge spell
I believe gives
gives
you advantage.
me advantage. Do I still have that for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got this.
I don't think I need the advantage, but yeah, so that's a natural 19 plus my strength as a giant constrictor snake is 19, so that's a 23 total.
Okay.
With no, because I don't have any kind of like.
The integrity of the Ignian ship's hull gets a 19 on its roll, so you defeat them. You are going to deal 4d10 damage to the ship.
Okay. Oh my god. D10, 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 and a D10. Ooh. Oh. 10, 17, 19, 23.
23. All right. So you guys watch as like the form of Sela wrapped around this boat begins to like flex her like snake body, and you hear the like creaking of strained wood, and you hear the beginning of like as planks begin to snap. You crush down on the ship and begin to like fracture and splinter pieces of its hull.
Yeah, and then I hiss at the people that have the net, and I show
Okay.
off, because like constrictor snakes have like 4 rows of teeth on the top and 2 on the bottom. They don't just have the 2 little fangs. So I got a whole bunch of teeth. I'm getting in their face. I'm hissing at them, and it's like a big, deep like hiss.
Thought you were here for D&D. You didn't know you were here for snake facts.
Snake facts.
Snake facts. Similar. So that's the sequel to Horse Tips, which was from many moons ago on Delve Requisite. Okay, yeah. So you are able to do that. I'll tell you guys right now, the Ignian ship, upon your engagement with it, started with 200 of its 300 HP remaining. So you have now done 23 damage to that, out of that 200. Okay, so that's Sela. The Shrike is going to take their turn, and what they are going to do is they are going to attempt to... I think they're going to attempt to shoot the Ignian ship. And I'm going to give them disadvantage on their attack roll because they're trying not to hit Sela as they fire cannons into the Ignian ship. So they're going to come up and they're going to fire broadside cannons. So I'll give them disadvantage on their attack roll. Oh boy. A 3 and an 8. Didn't super matter. So they come up and you see the Shrike kind of like maneuver into position, and they're trying to aim for like the front half of the ship so that they don't hit the big snake. But the cannonballs kind of like go wide as they don't quite manage to line up their shot. So Grimm's crew, that's going to bring us to you guys.
Question, is lighting an arrow on fire feasible to hit their...
Do you have like... Do you have
I'm
an
just
active
I don't-
flame right now to ignite the fire?
No, but if I were to make one, like if I were to find one.
If you were to... Yeah, I mean, I will, like, if you... I mean, you theoretically
I don't have
like...
magic.
You have, like, a flint and tinder. Like, I will let you use an action to, like, light an arrow unless you are able to find some source of fire to just, like, put your arrow in.
Yeah, I don't think there's a source of fire at the moment. So yeah, I would probably do that.
Okay. So you can use your action to tear off a strip of cloth or something and use fantasy magic to make it into something flammable and spark it with your tinderbox and light up a
Cool.
flaming arrow.
Can I light 2 flaming arrows for a full turn?
Sure.
Thank you. That's my turn!
Alrighty.
I would like to. Can I see the people, the captain and everybody, like grouping up and getting this net and
Yes.
trying to go over to try to net our sea serpent?
Yes. Now you're
Okay.
like your bead on them is not great because you're on a much smaller ship, so they're like kind of way up above you and you're pretty close
Sure.
So you're mostly like you're kind of looking up the side of the ship, but you can kind of see them. But like anything that any like direct attacks against people on the deck of the ship, they're gonna have partial cover from you guys, as like you're basically.
Will me picking up Thixus on my shoulders change his view?
Probably no. You probably have to like you gotta get him on the ship.
So hard, I got so far.
Let me give you a boost. I'll just kind of look at Rowan and say, "Okay, I've got an idea. Watch this." And I tuck
pull the
behind
shield out of
her
his
with the big armor, and I like lick my finger and check the wind, and I'm going to lob a fireball over towards those guys.
Okay.
And try to land it on the deck so it explodes and ignites all of them.
Alrighty. They just need to make dexterity saving throws.
It'd be a dexterity saving throw. That's right.
They get a 17, so they'll take half damage. I don't
half damage.
see that the ship can avoid that damage though, so I think the ship is going to take full damage from that fireball.
I rolled a 1 on my wild magic too.
Okay. Alrighty, hang on one second.
I'll go ahead and roll the damage for the fireball.
Yeah, roll the damage on the fireball. Let me get the wild magic table pulled up.
Damage was 29 fire damage.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep the serpent in the game here. we're taking this ship down.
Alrighty. So you... Man, you would think the wild mad... There it is. Okay. You lob this mortar fireball over onto the deck. It slams down. And there's a explosion. The guys who are like trying to wrangle this net, several of them are just like lit on fire, and they like dive and fall out of the way, and they're burned. The net is like scorched up and begins to burn as well, making it either useless to them or way more dangerous to seal it, depending on how gutsy they want to be on their turn, as you now have a flaming net. But the ship does get like a big burn blasted into the deck, and several of the embers from the fireball fling off and like hit pieces of rigging and canvas and rope, and several small little fires start to burn on the sails. What is your so as you already in your like empowered state, you feel as you begin to like launch more magic, you feel like the influx of chaos just flying forth from you. Go ahead and give me that roll, the D100 roll, and we will see what happens.
It's an 89.
89. Okay, so guys on the Grimm's Folly, Thixus winds up this fireball, hucks it, the fireball explodes on the deck, you guys turn back, and Thixus is gone.
Oh no, I know, oh no, I think I know where, oh no, I think I had this happen to me before.
I immediately start freaking out. What the fuck happened to Thixus? Who hit Thixus? And I spend my turn grabbing the area where he was.
Thixus, immediately you see everybody turn around and go like, "Bah!" And then Rowan starts like feeling, Rowan, roll to hit.
A 16.
What's your armor class, Thixus?
13.
Rowan freaks out and slaps you in the face.
Ow!
As you are invisible.
What was that for?
I couldn't see you! And I just like hold his face for a minute, feeling really bad that I slapped him. But also,
What do you
okay,
mean you can't? Oh.
he didn't fall off the ship, so I'm really
He did not
okay that
fall
he
off the
didn't fall
ship.
off the ship, which is my first thought. That he threw the fireball and it blasted him off the ship.
I thought
I
he was
looking.
just gone. I thought he was yeeted into another
Oh
plane
my
for like
God.
one
I
D4
thought
rounds.
he blasted himself off the back of the Don't try it.
Rowan, I can't see my hands.
It'll be okay, maybe, I don't know. Just don't move. And I like keep one hand on him, and I just spend my turn trying to hold the shield in front of the invisible Thixus.
Okay.
And I just keep a hand on him, and then that's it. It's my turn.
Alrighty. Anything from Macbeth?
Questions. Depending
Yes.
on the answer to the questions, it's gonna depend on what what's the distance from our ship to this ship? How far away are we?
20 feet. You sailed right up on them.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. Second question.
You ever
Is
have a
there-
player ask you a question about distance and you answer an arbitrary question and then you see that, like, you see the evil in their eyes and you're like, oh, I've given them an answer that has enabled a crime.
Second
That's
question.
what just happened.
Second question. Is there a portion of the hull of their ship not currently wrapped in sneck?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the ship is not currently wrapped in sneck because she's 100 or so feet long, but she's probably only tree trunk size around. So like as she's wrapped around the ship, she's probably only wrapped around a 15 or 20 foot segment of it. So the rest of the ship is still open real estate.
Okay. So, like earlier before, Murderbeard sort of like gets this feeling to like if he does something might happen, so he's gonna try it.
Okay.
So he sort of like focuses for a moment and then looks out, and I reach my hand out, pointed like sort of at the bottom part, like where like part of the hull that's not covered in sneck, where the water meets the
Sure.
like the right there, and Murderbeard's eyes will glow that amber color, and then all of a sudden, out of Murderbeard's mouth will come the sound of what to everyone else sounds like a cannon. And I'm going to cast Shatter, and anybody within a 10-foot radius of the sphere, so probably not any people where I was aiming, and the like boat itself is gonna take damage. If there's any people in it, they have to
okay.
make a con save. The like any
Might be people
non-magical
inside
object
here.
being worn or carried just takes the damage.
Sure. Let me just see. It's probably a loose interpretation of how Shadow works, but that's fine.
I'm essentially trying to blow a hole in the bottom part of the ship so that they
With
sink.
like vibrations of sound. Kind of like a wine glass.
So, as written, Shatter doesn't really indicate that, like... I was looking to see whether, like, the solid side of the ship would prevent, like, anybody who's, like, inside the ship on the other side of the hull there. If it would, like, block them. But it doesn't really say anything about that, so I'm just gonna say...
I meant
roll your
that is
3d8 thunder damage. We're playing fast and loose anyway, so just roll
Yeah,
your
I was-
3d8 thunder
I'm-
damage.
more trying to damage the ship than
Yeah.
people.
Oh my god, he's rolling 1d8 3 times.
16 points of damage.
What is it? 16?
It's 'cause I only somehow managed to get 1d8 out. Yeah.
All right, no problem. So Murderbeard goes, and you just hear, and the ship, as if like hammered by like an invisible impact, you see just like a crush into the side of the hull of the ship, where it like meets the water. It does not. You don't blast a hole in the hull, but you do create like a splintered impact in the wood in like a circular pattern, as if just like a slam of force hit into it. Okay. That is going to bring us to the Ignians. They are once again going to attack the snake. A 5, a 10, and a 15. So they're going to hit you one time. 5 points of piercing damage, Sela.
Can I use my reaction to bend
Sure.
luck? And I will roll a
force a
d4 and
Oh.
I'll roll a d4
roll
and
a D4,
subtract it from that amount.
All right, so a 15 minus.
-3. Still hits, doesn't it?
Just hits.
I see, right? Yeah. So you still get
I'd
hit. So
roll
you take,
4.
you take that piercing damage. I'm gonna roll a like a nerve check basically for the guys with the net to see how they're feeling. With an 11, I don't think they're feeling brave enough to try and throw the on fire net on you. I think with an 11, they are brave enough to use their action to like stomp the fire in the net out, to then like prime it next time to try and throw it on the snake. That's going to be the Ignian's turn. Sela, that will bring us to you on the ship.
I crunch them again.
All right, strength check. They get a 5.
20.
Okay. 4d10 points of damage to the ship.
Oh, what are these ass rolls? Come on, man.
Come on.
Oh, okay. 19, 21, 26 points of bludgeoning
26.
damage.
All right, so again, you begin to crack at the ship. The wood of the ship and the hull where Sela is like crunching around begins to. You see it now like flexing, and some of the individual beams are like splintering. The ship is beginning to like deform under the crunch in a way that it is definitely not intended to. And you guys can see that impact that Murderbeard made a little bit away from her as the ship like further down from it is beginning to be like squeezed inward. The strain on that impact crater that Murderbeard made is now beginning to like warp, and like little splinters of wood are like flinging out and like plinking into the water. The integrity of the hull is not doing great. The Shrike is going to take another shot at disadvantage with their cannons and miss again, unfortunately. So they continue to be pointless. The Grimm's Folly is continuing to protect the Gilia, which is at this point like limping away from the theater of battle, as they are not in good condition. You'll remember from last time they were like way too low in the water, as if they are definitely taking on water actively. So they're trying to get out of here. Everybody make a perception check real quick.
$18.
I rolled really bad. That's only a 15.
16.
Okay. So everybody... go ahead.
12.
12. Everybody above the 15. You guys notice from closer back towards the island, it seems that some of the other ships that had been like pursuing some of the other captains have given off, like broken off of the pursuit and are now heading back in your direction. So you have several more ships on their way in. You probably have... You're not in an imminent, you have some time before more ships come bearing down on you, but like you have company coming. The Grimm's Folly crew, that's going to bring us to you guys at the top of the order.
I'm going to release my 2 fire arrows and aim them at the mass points to like try and catch the mass on fire.
All right, roll the hit.
Okay, let's go. 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Cool.
Don't worry about damage for the arrows. It's like the arrows themselves are not going to inflict any damage onto the ship. The fire is going to be the point that matters.
So the next one... 16 plus 7?
Yes. The ship's AC is 15, so that's fine. So I rolled what equates to a boat's Constitution save to see if it would ignite, and I rolled a 5 and a 1. So between the arrows and the remnants of the fireball, the sails begin to burn, which is impressive considering it is raining quite hard.
Oh shit!
Which is a fact that I forgot about until right now. Not gonna stop us from having a cool flaming sail situation. So the ship is gonna begin to burn. I'm gonna roll at the end of each of their turns. I'm gonna roll fire damage for them, as they will continue to take damage.
Just trying to help out. I can't help with the hull, but I can help with that.
All right.
I can't do any of that, so that's just great. I get to stand here.
Could if you believed in yourself.
Wow.
So Thixus
No
is still
range.
invisible.
Yes, you are still invisible.
What? So, question, Matt. What would it take for Thixus to board this other vessel?
An athletics or acrobatics check.
If he tells me that's what he wants to do, am I
I
allowed
was
to
gonna say, it would
assist him
probably
with this?
take.
I probably wouldn't say anything to Rowan.
I was gonna say it would probably take.
So I can't
life,
throw you.
is what it's gonna take.
Okay. So you said athletics or acrobatics?
Yes.
Oh. Is there any way can I persuade the boat?
You can try.
I'm just
Come
teasing.
closer, magically.
I will try
What
to use
can I persuade the boat on a t-shirt?
acrobatics. I will use acrobatics.
Okay. What's your roll?
A natural 1.
Oh. You guys see it like a disembodied splash between like your ship and the other ship.
Rowan, I made a terrible mistake.
There is now like
shape?
splashing. No, there's splashing and there's like a weird sort of like
Indentation.
there's just like you guys can see that there's like a torso shaped void in the water where Thixus is sticking out.
I reached out
as
and
you
grabbed
hear him
Thixus
splashing.
and pull him back on the boat.
Okay, that'll be
I
Rowan's
probably,
action.
just almost not purposely, but maybe a little bit strangle him a little on the way up.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm always so
helped
down.
me. You can let it go. You helped me. I'm not here.
I drop him.
I'm always so down for whatever nonsense Thixus wants to do. So I'm always like, I always set the DC so low because I'm like, I would rather he do it so we can see what other stupid thing, and then he just always rolls a nat 1 or something. And I'm like, you just needed to beat like a 10, and I would have let you do whatever this insane plan was.
And it's really hard for me to roll, Matt. You know this by now.
It's so hard.
Okay, so Murderbeard, anything you'd like to do after this cavalcade of
Yeah,
failures?
I'd like to use my action to let go of the wheel, pull off one of the deck bells, tie a rope around it, and attempt to put it on Thixus.
Okay. Make a.
I am still invisible.
Yeah, I
make a
know.
Sleight of.
I
are-
just
are
put my
Thixus-
hands
Is it
on
easier
you.
to see him
Are
in the
you-
rain?
Are you resisting this, Thixus?
So he's trying to put a bell on me?
Yeah, he comes at you with like a
Hang a bell around your neck.
You're a cat now. You're the ship's cat.
Yes, I'm going to avoid it.
All
I'm
right,
going to
then,
get back
you're
behind
gonna have to-
Rowan.
Murderbeard, you're gonna have to make an attack at disadvantage. Well, I guess
Maybe a
you make an
sleight of hand
attack.
check?
Rowan, are you helping Thixus avoid the bell?
Nope.
Okay, are you
Nope.
helping?
I want that fucking
Are
bell
you
on.
holding
helping
him down.
Murderbeard put the bell on him? Okay.
I'm probably
then-
trying to strangle,
then
like
make an
bear hug Thixus.
Make an attack roll with advantage as Thixus tries to hide behind Rowan and she betrays him
So
immediately.
I'm making an attack roll.
Make
With
an attack roll.
Breathe!
You'll breathe when you have this damn bell around you.
Well, one's a 2 and the other is a 17.
Okay, so he manages to just like.
That hits.
I mean, like you can just take it off if you want on your next turn. It's not like he like attaches it to you in a way that you can't remove it. But he throws like a bell on a string around your neck.
So now there's just this floating bell on there.
Just floating while you're grabbing me.
Okay.
I'll like look where I think Thixus's face is and go, "You leave that on."
That's my neck, Captain.
Okay. All right.
You leave that on.
So
back
cool.
to-
So as punishment for the fact that you guys all ignored the enemy boat of bad guys that you guys are fighting, somebody in there gets the bright idea to like point a cannon at your ship, and they're gonna shoot you. Shoot you with a
It's
cannon.
fine. It was worth it.
They roll a nat
Certainly
1. The powder, like
They
the
blow a
powder,
hole in their own ship.
yeah, the powder, like the cannon backfires, and they blow a hole out of the side of their own ship with their own goddamn cannon because they suck. Today is not a good day for them.
That cannon is like a cartoon exploding cigar where it's just like blown
Yeah.
in.
Where's the
yeah.
cannon? Where's the cannon damage? They do 3d10 bludgeoning damage to their own ship because they are a bunch of scallywags who tried to roll the cannon damage. Holy crap.
3 10s.
Did they just destroy their own ship completely?
No, they didn't destroy their own ship. They did do 22 points of damage to their own ship, like a bunch of ding-dongs. So you just see like one of the cannon ports just like poof, wood splinters everywhere, a bunch of smoke comes out of it. They had a bad round. They're also going to take some fire damage. They take an additional 12 points of fire damage. Okay, so their ship is doing bad times. You hear the ship beginning to creak. You guys can actually hear water beginning to like rush into the ship as the various crushing and impact damage that you guys are doing are hurting the vessel's hull integrity. That is going to bring us to Sela.
I'm crushing it again.
Here's what I'm going to say. Sela. If you roll a nat 20 on your
That's a
strength
lot of
roll,
pressure. My
It's a lot
dice
of
have been
pressure.
rolling real bad.
if you roll a nat 20, you're going to do your damage, but if you roll a nat 20, I'm going to let you do
Let me
double
move
that
my-
damage. I'm going to let you do 8d10 damage.
Okay, I'm rolling the big boy and my little green boy.
All right, roll the big boy and the green boy.
Alright, little green boy. Oh my god, I'm literally not even.
Touchdown.
I literally the big boy is a 20.
Hey!
Not even. What the fuck? Oh my god, my camera's
All right,
messed up.
8d10.
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 Oh my god. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. 6, 7, 8.
I don't even have 8d10 like on.
I was gonna
hand.
say, you've got a lot of dice ready when you got 1810 ready.
Oh, I have like at least like 7 or 8 more d10s that I haven't even touched.
Sweet.
8, 11, 12, 13, 18, 28, 38, 47, 48, 50.
You guys watch as the muscles on this snake like ripple. The ship. You hear something like deep within the keel of the ship, just cracks. And you hear the rush of water begin to come into this ship. The ship is not destroyed yet, but the ship is absolutely sinking. Like they are disabled. They are going to sink. Though they are still like intact, and there's sailors running around on the deck of the ship and stuff.
Oh my god.
So that. Okay.
I haven't rolled in that 20 in weeks. I can't believe that
Yeah.
just happened.
It's like
That
a
was
called
incredible,
shot.
baby. Hell yeah. That was 100% a cold shot. Holy shit.
The Shrike will take a shot quickly. They finally oh, actually, I gotta roll disadvantage. These nerds. They would have hit, but then I rolled with disadvantage and they missed for a third time. The Shrike does nothing. All right, Grimm's Folly crew. That brings us to you guys.
Matt, what was the number?
I rolled 2 dice with so with disadvantage they rolled a 19 and they rolled a 14.
I would like to try to bend luck on their shot.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my last 2 sorcery points to do so.
All right. You had a D4 to that, right?
D4, and it's a 4.
Okay. All you needed was
4.
1 because the AC is a 15 of that ship. So the cannonball. You guys would swear that like the cannonball that like streaks through the air from the Shrike curves at like the last second and hits the like impact crater of Murderbeard's like previous sound cannon that he used. So they're gonna deal some bludgeoning damage.
As it hits, I'm gonna ring the bell around my neck. It says that my invisibility like goes off as soon as I like cast a spell or make an attack. Does using like a feature
I don't think so, because that is not
don't
an
think so.
that is not an attack
Take
roll
invisibility
or casting
away?
of a spell. So I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
You're still invisible.
Okay.
All right, they that ship is not completely destroyed yet. They don't quite do enough damage, so the ship is still up. So now Grimm's Folly, you have an all but crippled ship in your sights here.
I point to the non-crippled ships coming back to us and just go, Captain! We might need to leave soon.
Okay.
Helpful. Fucking helpful.
I tighten my grip on the wheel, like I'm getting ready to roll out.
Okay. Phyxis, Rowan, or Nimue. Does anybody feel that they would like to do anything at this point?
I mean, if I were to help, like, prep the ship to go, would we go, like,
Yeah.
faster?
Let's say this. You guys prepare your escape, because I think we all know what's about to happen.
Yeah, I would want to prepare, but I wouldn't want to get things ready to leave because I want to make sure we got not without Sela, you know.
To get on board. So I guess I'll just hold the line and shoot some more people on deck until Sela can get on
You
ours.
guys start firing off arrows. Not even gonna worry about rolls. You start picking people off. The doomed Ignian ship is gonna take one last like pot shot at you guys. I believe an 18 hits the Don't Try Us, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you guys are going to take 13 points of bludgeoning damage to the hull of the Don't Try Us. So they fire off one of their non-exploded cannons into you guys in sort of a parting shot to take anybody they can down with them. And that will bring us... oh god. They might take enough fire damage from the on-fire sails to sink their ship. Hang on. Okay. The fire burns the last of their sails away, but they are not quite destroyed. They are, as the old nautical term goes, they are 1 point of damage from being dead. Which brings us to Sela.
Alright, you know what? If I can see that this thing is like on its like last fins, legs. Ships don't have legs. I wanna like
They might. You can go down there and check. You don't know.
I mean, I wanna like basically like rear up and like just like bite down like a big chunk of like the hull out of like the ship and just like fucking finish them.
Make an attack.
No,
roll.
I do more damage when I do crushy stuff.
It has one hit point. It doesn't matter what you use to attack.
Okay. Okay. I didn't roll very good, but let's see. Bite is +6, so that's a 17 to hit.
Yes. So, I will let you describe in as brutal a detail as you would like the death of this Ignian ship, and at your, I was gonna say at your hands, but you don't currently have hands. At your jaws.
Yeah. So like, I'm like squishing the little ship, and I see that everybody is like freaking out, and I give them an evil little snake smile, and then I just start like, I go wherever the most people are on the ship, and I just like basically like shove my own giant snake face like down through and like bite a huge hole in it, and like because the ship was already so crushed, like when I like pull at the wood, it like the part where it was getting crushed, it just starts to like completely rip the wood away. And it's crushed.
Hell yeah. So Sela like rears back, plunges this like giant constrictor snake head down, like just rips the deck away. The ship like cracks inward in half, and like you guys see Sela basically just like goes through the ship and out the bottom as this just cracks and begins to sink in two separate pieces as these sailors like dive overboard and are dragged down with their vessel. With that, Sela, you are still a giant constrictor snake. You're in the water, but you can feel like it's almost like pins and needles across your snake form. You can feel that like the magic that is supersizing you is beginning to grow more and more unstable. Like the longer Thyxis continues to hold on to it, you are pretty sure like you are about to downgrade.
Okay.
Your ultimate is timed out.
So what I was gonna do, no, I don't think I have enough. I wanted to like go over to the ship that's fucked up and taking on water, the Gilia, and like basically get underneath it and just start like pushing it.
They've sailed a pretty good distance away from you guys while you have been grappling this other vessel, so they're pretty far off from you guys at this point. You're fairly certain as long as they can keep themselves from sinking, like they are not in danger necessarily of being caught by these pursuers because they've gotten far enough away.
Hey, what would happen if I unwild shaped right now while I was still big? Would I be really big too?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, I drop it. I want to see what happens.
You guys know what's that movie? Monster Squad? Monster Squad, right? Where it's like the Blob and Hugh Laurie is like a bug man scientist, and there's like a 50-foot tall woman. It's like that. Just big Sela in the water for a minute.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go towards my ship and wait until I'm small and then jump. No, I'm gonna oh my god, I'm pushing. I take my hand and I'm pushing I'm pushing the Don't Try Us in the direction we need to go.
Towards the Grimm's Folly.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna get on it.
This massive hand just comes up on the deck.
Yeah.
Like a toy boat in a bathtub. You guys are just pushed. Okay, so what happens at this point? The group of you begin to sail a speedboat away, heading to catch up with the Grimm's Folly. The Shrike adjusts course to follow along with you as the wreckage of this Ignian ship continues to sink. You guys sail. The wind is in your favor as you are sailing away from this engagement. The storm continuing to lash around you. You get far enough away that you kind of visibility on the pursuing ships begins to be difficult, but you kind of are able to intuit that they are going to have trouble keeping sights on you. You know at least one of them breaks off pursuit to aid the sailors in the water from the ship that you just sunk, as others continue to pursue. But after after an hour or so, you kind of navigate into into and around an island and change course and head further away. The Gilia bears elsewhere and goes. As of right now, the fates of the other ships, the other pirate ships, are unknown to you. But at the very least, you guys aboard the Don't Try Us with the rescued captain of the Jules, Charles Frederick, and the waiting Grimm's Folly and Shrike are able to pursue. So you guys can kind of take it from here as you're able to like gather up, and people can go on whichever ships you want to go, and you can sort of pursue the the scene here as it would be before we move on with our narrative. Let's switch our music over here.
The Don't Try Us can be lashed to the
You
Grimm's
can lash
Folly?
it to the Grimm's Folly. Yes, it is small enough to be.
Since we have 1 hit point before we start having problems on there, I propose we do that.
Ooh.
When you said that
broken.
number, Matt, my heart stopped and I had to
I
do
know.
math.
I had to like quickly do some math on my calculator. I was like, "Are we? Oh, we're 1 point above."
I was freaking out. That's what I was immediately thinking. Oh.
So giddy.
So yeah, let's. I suggest we do that if everyone else is okay with that.
Very okay with that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you guys kind of like pull alongside. The the Shrike like pulls alongside, pulls up alongside you guys as you are sailing away, and you kind of like see the crew, of their ship like looking across, looking for Thorne.
Who's their? I have a question, and this is slightly in character, slightly out of character. Who is their first mate? Because wasn't Poole the first mate way back when we first?
Poole was the first mate.
Oh my god, the losses.
Poole was the first mate.
Who's
Let me
first
pull
mate
up
now?
Let me pull up their ship information here.
Yeah, somebody had to get promoted.
Now they're gonna get promoted again.
Okay. So just as a refresher, the officer corps of the Shrike, Captain Nathaniel Thorne, first mate Edward Poole, a man by the name of Roderick Thackeray is their bosun. Their quartermaster was a gentleman by the name of Mosamba. They did not, while you were aboard the ship, have a surgeon or a cook aboard. So at this point, you see the slightly heavy-set, kind of jovial features, mid-50s visage of Roderick Thackeray. The bosun seems to, you get the sense, is now the first mate aboard the Shrike, as he's kind of like giving orders to the crew. A lot of it has to do with like fixing damage that they took in the fight, but he will, he kind of like calls over across the distance between the ships to you, and he says, "Oi, seems you came out of that fight in one piece. You hiding our captain over there somewhere?"
Think you should probably come aboard.
And he kind of like, right. Mosamba! And you see the large, wide-set, dark-skinned quartermaster of the Shrike comes up from repairing something below deck, and the two of them will transfer over to your ship. Tea Kettle also comes down from the crow's nest as you guys, like, this gathering kind of begins to take place.
Oh no, the losses, you guys. You know what? While we are murder beardless,
Sure.
Scylla is going to just thank Thyxis. I did not know you could make me that big, but that was great.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Scylla. I had no idea I could make you that big either.
That was very fun. We should do that more often.
It's just strange, like, for some reason, like, I could feel the connection to the arcane weave. It just felt like everything was just flowing through me for that moment. It just, what a rush.
Did you hear any sort of like a humming or like a ringing in your ears?
Well, I've got this bell, and I start ringing it.
Wait, why do you have a bell around your neck?
Well,
Because he went invisible and then fell in the damn water.
yeah, that's pretty much seems about right.
So as you guys, where do you have Thorne as the crew of the Shrike comes over?
I think we would have brought him on the main, obviously the main deck of Grimm's Folly, and probably like wrapped him as best as we could have, just like we'd done for Pool, as quick as we could.
Because I remember we got the body, I just don't know what we did
got the
with-
body and we just like
Had it on
quickly
the Don't
brought
Try
it
Us.
onto the Don't Try Us, and so then I think we would have like probably as soon as we got lashed up, like brought it on, and like maybe we put it towards the front of the ship so we're not in everybody's way,
Yeah.
so we
Good.
can like gesture for them to come over. I
Follow.
mean, this is kind of Murderbeard's
Captain's
thing,
territory.
so I just was trying to
So
stall
you
until
were off screen there, Murderbeard, but the previous bosun, now promoted since the death of Edward Poole, now promoted to first mate, or sort of pulling double duty as first mate, Roderick Thackeray, and their quartermaster Mosamba have come aboard the Grimm's Folly after asking, like, where have you got our captain over there, and getting a look like, oh shit. And Tea Kettle has also come down from the Crow's Nest. So they are there. You guys, whoever wants to be present for this are gathered around. Captain Frederick is present as well, for this scene. And the two men from the Shrike kind of come over and they look down at the still form of Captain Thorne. And after a few moments of, just kind of like stony silence and staring at him, Mosamba just asks without looking away. He says, "How did it happen?"
Well, we reached the place where they were holding Captain Frederick. And, well, we were trying to make a move for him, and that big Ignian ship decided to take down the whole tower. And, Captain Thorne did not survive the fall. He'll sort of leave the, like, got a plank rammed through his chest
Sure.
part out of it.
Mosamba says, I had thought that nothing would ever be able to kill the devil. He was truly a terror to his enemies. He kind of shakes his head. He says, but he was a good captain, and I think a man with a good heart. He looks to Thackeray and he says, the crew will be heartbroken. And Thackeray nods. He says, they will be. They will be. And he looks to you guys and he says, did the captain at least die on his feet with his blade in his hand, giving what for to those neck-stomping sons of bitches Ignians?
Aye, that he did.
how he would have wanted to go, I suppose, if he was to go at all. And Tea Kettle kind of scooches between you guys as you sort of gather around. She sort of like squiggles through you guys and moves over to where Thorne is. And she kind of kneels down beside him and turns one eye. To look him over, and considers for a moment, and she goes, "Set sail. Fair weather ahead, mates. Goodbye, my friend. See you again soon." And she sort of like kind of reaches out one sort of feathered hand and sort of like pats his chest a little bit. You guys make a perception check for me as she does that.
Only a 13.
24.
Okay.
17.
17.
Okay. Those of you who did better than a 16, you see Tea Kettle like draws her hand back, and you see like the glint of something metallic, like she took something from Thorne when she like patted him on the chest, and she like sleight of hand like squirrels it away inside her like sleeve, and then she backs up.
If you saw her do that, no, you didn't.
Exactly.
No one says shit.
No one saw shit.
Okay. So you see that she backs away. She kind of like moves back into line with you, and Mosamba looks at the group of you and he says, "What is your plan now?"
Think our first order of business is probably to return to Naporia.
Mosamba says, "I believe we will have some discussion ahead of us about the Shrike. We are without our captain. But I believe it is likely for us that we will attempt to reconvene with Governor Blackwell." And Thackeray kind of looks over and he nods in the direction of Frederick, who's been quiet this whole time. He says, "And what are you, mate? You've got a few of your men and women left. You've got no ship to your name. What say you? There is room enough aboard the Shrike for you. Captain Blackwell gave his life to see you rescued from them Ignians. It would do right by his memory for us to take you aboard and get you where you need to go." And Captain Frederick says, "I would appreciate it. I am sorry of what has happened to Captain Thorne. I have known him a long time. He was good man is a difficult term to apply to him, but he was a good pirate." Thackeray says, "Aye, he was." Frederick turns to the group of you and he says, "Do not think that I will forget the risk any of you have put yourself in to save myself and my crew. says, I do not know what it is that the Ignians wanted with Glazau, but they did not get it from me. I am quite sure that the Commodore was growing frustrated with my continual refusal of his offer to turn against the island's inhabitants and lead the Ignians there, but
Did he ask you anything specific about the island? Like what information he was looking for?
the demand that he had was that I return to the island ahead of the Ignian Armada and attempt to convince the pirates to turn themselves in and to surrender when the Armada came, and in failing this, to sabotage Fort Blackwell's defenses to make their capture of the port more simple. He did not seem particularly concerned with even the fort itself, let alone anything to do with the town of Glazau. His interest seemed to be in the island itself, but I do not know why he was not forthcoming with this information. The crew of the Shrike at this point, Thackeray and Mosamba call over some of the other crewmates who come over to collect Thorne, and they begin the process of transferring him back over to the Shrike. Mosamba and Thackeray kind of give you guys all a nod. Pirate broy clasp of hands for anybody who wishes it, and they say that they're going to depart and head back to the Shrike, unless you guys need anything else before they make way. They say to Captain Frederick, basically like, whenever you're ready, mate, come aboard and we'll head underway. We don't want to linger too long, and Ignians could still be pursuing us. Best to disappear into the wind at this point, eh? And Frederick nods and he says, I am ready now, unless my rescuers have any further questions or insights that they believe I could provide for them. I will be happy to share anything I know.
I don't think we have any questions for him.
Okay. Then the crew of the Shrike disembark with Thorne's body and head back to their vessel.
As they go to leave, after a moment, Murderbeard speaks up and says, I remember it was quite a number of years ago now, back before either Thorne or I were captain of our own vessels. There was a brief time that we served aboard the same ship. Captain Thorne was not one for conversation or feelings. But one night, we found ourselves both on the same night watch, and I think maybe he had gotten a little bit into the rum supply more than usual. And he said to me, Macbeth, there's one thing I'm going to do in this life. It's going to be to make sure that the name Nathaniel Thorne is remembered. And I think he did that.
And make a persuasion roll.
That is a 22.
Mosamba and Thackeray look at each other, and something unspoken passes between them. Mosamba kind of grins a little bit, and Thackeray says, Thorne. Not a bad name for a ship, wouldn't you agree, Mr. Mosamba? And Mosamba says, not a bad name indeed. And I believe we will have to have ours refitted in port before long. And the two of them turn, and the Shrike, or perhaps the Thorn, raises anchor, sets sail, and begins to sail away. And as it does, you guys hear from out of the kind of like foggy, overcast weather, you hear, "Rah!" And you see the flutter of blue and crimson, blue and gold comes down from the clouds as the familiar winged form of Henry, the parrot, reappears, flutters down onto the deck of the Shrike as it's kind of sailing away from you, disappears from your sight for a few moments, and then reappears, flutters up over the railing of the Shrike and heads directly for your ship. And Murderbeard, Henry flies and basically like alights on a railing on the Grimm's Folly directly next to you, and sort of like cocks his head and just goes, "Captain," and sort of like he kind of like sticks his beak out in your direction.
I'll like put my arm out, I guess, like in like a falcon.
Okay, so you lift your arm, and Henry goes, and sort of like straightens up, and just with sort of like a flap, hops the railing over to your arm. He lands on your arm, and as he does, there is a flash of light and smoke, similar to like the of you firing off that weapon that you seem to be able to summon now. Henry like disappears into this poof of smoke, and as the smoke clears, the form of Henry, of this bird, is no longer what it was. You, Macbeth, are able to tell with the utmost certainty that Henry was never a parrot to begin with. The thing that Thorne called Henry is a spirit, an entity, it is a construct of a magical nature that you can feel is tied to you and tied to this power that you have bound yourself with. And as such, as you connect with this entity, it has now transformed. When it was companion to Thorne, it took the form of Henry the parrot. Now it conforms to you. What is it? What does it look like?
Well, one question: it like Henry looked like a real bird, right?
Just looked like a bird, yeah.
Okay.
So this looks every bit like what you want it to, whatever the thing that you want it to look like. It can be something. I mean, it can also look like a weird, fantastical version of that if you would like. You just gotta,
No, I was just clarifying before I described what I have in mind.
Yes.
After a moment, the form will, I guess, sort of swirl, and after a few moments, there's like a flash of light, and then where Henry the bird was standing on Murderbeard's arm is now a little mostly black with some white capuchin monkey, and he's got like a little vest and pirate hat.
Hell yeah, he does.
And I'll look at it, and After a moment, I think to myself and I say, doesn't seem right to call you by another man's name. But let's stick with the theme of H. I think I'll call you Hamlet.
And the monkey goes like, "Grr," and gives you a little grin. All right, Hamlet the
And then-
the monkey.
Murderbeard will turn to the crew and be like, "This is the greatest moment of my life."
Nimue was watching that whole exchange, just going like, "What the fuck?" And like also thinking, like watching Henry turn into this new creature, and seeing Murderbeard's magic surges. I think she's connecting the dots, but she's still like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
Rowan is right next to Nimue with the same face, just like slightly behind her, like same exact expression. Like,
Scylla's
Like
also
this-
confused, but is going to reach into her pouch and pull out one of those little orange grubs that when we were interviewing cooks, the goblin lady was like, "Yeah, these are delicious," and Scylla was like, "Yeah, those are delicious," and it's gonna hand it to Hamlet. And you're like, "Well, wherever you came from, you'll probably like this regardless."
He reaches out, and then he stops right before grabbing it, and he goes like, and he looks at Murderbeard in a wordless expression that is so clearly like, "Hey, Dad, is this okay? Like, can I take the candy from the weird lady?"
And Murderbeard will nod and say like, "Yeah, just don't necessarily turn your back on that one."
He like grabs the grub, and as you say, like, "Don't turn your back on that one," he goes like, and then he just goes like, inhales the grub. There's like goop going everywhere.
Look, I don't know if magic monkeys can be eaten by furbolgs, but I don't necessarily want to find out.
No, I probably wouldn't eat the magic monkey. It's very small, and
The word
there's not a lot-
probably concerns me. in that
Well, there's
sentence.
if you just look at him, there's really not a lot to enjoy. He's very small. Not
Let's
very
talk about my
useful
monkey
for a
like
meal.
that.
Are we just going to ignore the fact that the monkey used to be Henry?
are you just gonna ignore the fact that Captain did something before and
Yeah,
put emotions back in the direction of like the ship battle? She's
Whatever Thorne had, like, did he give it to you? Because
what Captain, respectfully, what the fuck?
what the fuck is up with that?
Respect.
Yeah, it was a
Captain, I am
giant-
so excited for you.
we're gonna get to you, Thixus.
I was a giant snake, so I didn't see like that, but I did see the blast with like the anchor before we started all of this. It is very interesting. Prior to now, you haven't had like a whiff of magic about you at all.
Right.
It's been like a bone dry desert, and now all of a sudden there's an oasis.
It's been incredible, Captain. I mean, I don't know where this is coming from, but wow.
What did Thorne give you?
I'm not 100% sure.
Did he just give you Henry and now?
Well,
I mean,
did,
someone had to take care of his son
he
if he's not
did-
going to be here, so you just inherited the bird and now it's a monkey?
he did several things. The first thing is whatever he did saved my life. The other thing, I'm not 100% sure. He may have passed a curse on to me. Not really. There
Is
was a
Henry
lot
the
of
curse? Or sorry, Hamlet the curse?
there was some underwater stuff, and then some magical chains, and I don't know.
Magic
Phrasing number 1, phrasing number 2. Rowan hears curse. I'm immediately casting detect evil and good on Captain.
Oh,
Immediate. I'm like,
Give me a sec.
I'm done with this stuff.
Oh, she's not playing around.
No, she's freaking out, and she couldn't save Thorne, so she is just full spiraled. Everything's wrong in the world.
Oh
Wow,
no.
I know all about magical chains.
I don't
What?
want to know if that exists.
All right, we're gonna get to that in a minute too.
Like what? When you say some of these things, like, does it just happen?
Do
Like,
you
do
hear
think
yourself?
about it first?
Matt's doing thoughtful DM pose, and I'm scared.
So,
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna read you. So here's the description for Detective Link. For the duration, you know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, and also where this creature is located. The rest of it is actually this is the important part. Similarly, you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Oh.
There's two primary pieces of information that you get from this. Number
Oh.
one, Hamlet is an elemental.
Aw.
Okay.
You also know that, like here, inside Murderbeard's coat, there are two pings of like objects that consecrated, or I guess consecrated would be the term for it, though I think probably Rowan, for you, like it's not what you're used to in terms of like what consecrate, like your particular brand of consecration is not what this is, but he's got two objects on him that ping with a similar vibe of energy. Like there is some sort of an aura to these things that like makes them something. But you don't get any like evil, spoopy vibes off of anything. You just get that there is some sort of like a deep, weird power associated with whatever Murderbeard has on his person, and that Henry is not a monkey, but is some form of an elemental.
Clearly. Sidebar, because I need
Very cute.
because this is happening right now, and it lasts for up to 10 minutes, and it's within everything within 30 feet of me. Does anything ping for anyone else in my crew?
Oh.
No.
I'm a demon.
I mean,
no.
I got 30
nobody
feet,
else.
so
Nobody else
I have a
in 30
fiend.
feet of you is an elemental,
have
a celestial,
weird
an
things, yeah,
aberration. No, nobody else has any weird things. No, nobody within 30 feet of you has any weird things.
At least that are
yeah.
magical.
Yeah. That's a whole other problem that
I don't
everybody's
want to know
working
what's
on
in
their own time.
Tykes' pockets.
Nope. But at least I know it's not technically evil, so it's fine. I'm going to look at the monkey for a moment and just go, okay, and then look at Captain and just, Captain, respectfully, and Rowan's just gonna go over and like walk around Captain and take his coat off because she needs to see what's pinging. Because she literally cannot pause right now. She is full. Like, I need answers. So she tugs
Are you
his
like
coat.
resisting
back.
her coming over and like throwing your coat open?
No.
Okay. She throws the coat open. You see that he has basically a set of like underarm holsters, and you see those two objects that the same ones that Thorne pulled and like blew the back of the Commodore's head off with, and the one that he used to shoot the anchor of the ship are holstered in here.
I point at one of them and I go, it's not evil. I still don't want to touch that. What the fuck is that, Captain? What are those?
It's me. At this point, we have the same knowledge.
At
We
least we
saw
know they're
Thorne
not-
use it, and I somehow got just this intuition that I could do it too, and then it happened.
Sometimes it be like that.
It's not evil.
Makes
at
sense to me.
least. At least it's not evil. And
That's good.
I look at Henry and I go, that for the record, I'm sure we've all figured it out. That's not a monkey or a parrot. That's an elemental.
You look at Henry, and he and Tea Kettle are like 5 feet away from you, and they're back and forth. Tea Kettle's like respectfully, and then Henry's like, And they're just doing that back and forth to each other.
I'm okay with this, and I step
Respectfully?
back.
Respectfully.
Look, I just at that point Rowan just sits down on the nearest part of deck that's slightly elevated, like a stair or something, and just goes and sits because that's all I got right now.
Alright.
Lexus. Magical chance. Crazy hair. Crazy big snake. What the heck?
Rowan gets back up and comes back over. And here's my ass. Oh wait, nope, there's more to this. Sorry. She comes back over.
Yeah, then watches you sit down and she's like, okay, I'll do it.
Too much to process.
I mean, I don't. Does it need to have? It was great.
It was amazing, but are you okay?
You know, I feel great.
That's good.
I mean, I know it sounds bad, but I've been a prisoner of arcane chaos my entire life. I felt free there. I don't know how to describe it.
You look pretty badass and pretty happy.
Stand still.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna do.
stand
I've done
perfectly
this-
still. I do
I've
not
done this-
move.
I've done this to Nexus before, but I peel open like his eye, and I want to like look like how do his eyes look? Do they look normal? Like, does he look like weathered or anything? Like, and then I'm gonna like grab his arm and see if it's still like a little noodle, and then I want to like fake punch him and see what happens. Like, I don't actually I get right there and then I don't.
I
'Cause I wanna see if he, like, is gonna
I
explode.
instinctively say ow anyway, even if you don't hit me. I would go ow!
Oh, that's the international.
it seems pretty normal to me.
That's the international rules of two for flinching. We have to do it.
I just need to see if he's gonna like I don't know if he's gonna like explode. But does he look like normal?
He's not
DM
glowing
is not going
anymore?
to tell you anything abnormal. If Thixus wants to tell you that there's anything abnormal, he can have that liberty. But I'm not imposing any abnormality on him. As a,
I'm still showing a little bit of wounded status.
Sure.
But other than that, I'm good.
Oh, I see what the problem is. I'll give you a healing word. I'll give you a healing word at 2nd level.
Is it just me, or is Thixus' soul patch like a little bit longer than it was earlier?
You're right. You get 8 points of healing.
Captain, again,
Oh, wow.
respectfully, I haven't looked at Thixus' face that long and that intently to notice if it's grown. But I guess you guys had a lot of bonding time on Boys Trip.
Oh,
You're telling me you don't look
oh my god, that's
Thixus in the
adorable.
face? That's rude.
I do, just not as long as you do to notice the length of his soul patch.
One day, I am hoping to have a
Length
beard
of facial hair is
as
clearly very
glorious
important to
as the
Murder Beard.
captain's.
I believe in you, Thixus. You can do it.
I believe in you too, Thixus. And then I turn to the
Roll
rest of the crew and
deception.
I didn't even wait for you to finish that sentence.
go, I'll do it.
Oh my god.
That's a 22. Because I have a +9.
Jesus.
All right. So,
Gee, Captain, thanks.
basically, for the duration of tonight's episode, you guys are going to be underway sailing back to Naporia. Within the context of like stuff outside the outside the ship, nothing of note is going to happen. So this is like the opportunity for you guys to talk to each other, any of your NPCs that are aboard the ship, any of that stuff, and do a little downtime activity while you guys make the journey back to Naporia.
Listen, before we get into the whole, like, what did you find when you investigated the ship? I just, like, am gonna pull Tea Kettle aside, out of earshot of everybody else.
Okay.
And I will say, I'm very sorry that you've had to do that twice now in the time that we've known you. Like, kind of gesturing, like, to where we had Thorne's body.
She kind of looks down and she nods and she says, "Very sorry."
Whenever I am feeling very frustrated, I usually like to hit things, but it's probably not a good idea for you to do that now. So if you are looking for something to keep your mind occupied, I have a task I could use some help with.
She seemed to consider, and she says, "That's the job for me."
Okay. Excellent. So, Thyxis. He is very scared of me. With good reason. I turned into... I mean, it was his doing, but I crushed the ship with my own body today. He does not... I don't think he trusts me all the time. He trusts me to keep him safe in danger, but if there's no other danger, I think he thinks I am the danger. And something strange has happened to him recently, but I don't have any proof of it, and I just want to make sure he's okay. So can you just keep an eye on him, and if he does anything strange, or if he looks strange, just come and tell me, okay?
Weathered eye on the horizon, me. Oi, you can trust me with this.
Excellent, thank you very much. And I will give her, like, a little, like, I'll do the little thing that the Furbolg lady on Glazau did to me, and I give her, like, the little pinch on the back of her, like, neck.
You find that, like, beneath the, like, the
Just
ruff of
feathers.
feathers, her neck is, like, extremely skinny in there. It takes you, like, you gotta, like, oh, wait. You go ahead. She definitely has, like, bird neck inside, like, her ruff of, like, dark black feathers. But so you, like, sort of pinch, and as you let go, she goes, like, and, like, ruffles her head a little bit.
It's hard when you have a tiny neck, but it's something that my people do when they care about each other, so... Sorry, I didn't... Well, your feathers are a little bit messed up.
Tea Kettle kind of looks at you as you say, like, this is something that my people do when they care about each other, and Tea Kettle says, something that my people do when they care about each other. And she turns... I've retroactively assumed that this conversation is taking place in the crow's nest, because that's where Tea Kettle always is. So Tea Kettle, like, turns around and rummages in her, like, little, like... It's like nest inception, right? She has, like, a nest inside the nest. Rummage through all her, like, little shit. And she pulls out a little, like... it looks like the broken piece of maybe what was once, like a fancy comb of some sort, but it's like a gilded little silver thing. It's a little tarnished, a little rusty, but it's definitely, like, kind of sparkly. And Tea Kettle, like, hands it to you. You're muted.
Shaking and crying. Is it like a round, like, thing?
It's sort of oblong, and one end is, like, a little bit jagged, where, like, you think it kind of connected to, like, the you see, like, there's, like, two kind of, like, teeth left on it, where it would be, like, you know, like, stuck into your hair.
Oh, it's a little, like, a comb.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll, like, put it in, I'll go to, like, one of the little braids in my hair, and I'll, like, just add, like, a little bit more length, or, like, I'll weave it into there.
Okay.
And say, that is very nice, thank you very much.
Tea Kettle, kind of, nods, and Tea Kettle goes, shiny!
It was very nice. Now, just remember, Thyxis is always strange, so I mean out of the regular strangeness.
She mimics the noise of his pants squeaking.
Scylla, like, will actually laugh at that, which is, like, a rare occurrence. Good. Okay, I'm going to go down and talk to everybody else about whatever the fuck just happened. And I will go down.
You leave T-Kill out there. So you guys sail over the course of a few days, and just at any point, you can kind of pop in with a scene that any of you want to see played out, of conversations amongst each other, or any other NPCs or anything like that. So hit me with them.
Stares at Michael.
Honestly, Thixus would probably want to keep to himself a little bit. He would probably go below deck and get that book from Thysine out.
Okay.
And just try. I know he's already tried, so it's probably just like he would just spend some time just milling over all this strange writing that he sees for a while, just to kind of decompress a little bit after everything that's happened.
You can make another investigation check to like study this book again.
Okay, sure. That's 15.
15. With a 15, I don't 100% remember like what information I have already given you in the first sort of
and honestly, I think I rolled higher than that the first time, and I didn't get like near as hardly
basically
anything,
the only thing you're able to discern, in continued studying of this book, it's written in a code, so like you cannot understand. You don't have the cipher you don't have the key for the cipher that he has like written this in. So you can't understand anything that is like physically written. All you can do is like kind of pore over the diagrams that he has drawn.
Is there anything? I guess my question would be: is there anything that I could connect this book in any way to Glasgow? Like any?
No, I don't think.
Like any sketches or pictures of what could be places or things
nothing,
like that. Okay.
nothing like draws any connection there. I think the only thing you sort of get from continuing to study is sort of the diagrams in here. It's a lot of anatomical drawings of various tiefling subjects, apparently. A mix of men and women. There is a lot of time spent on like anatomy of like horns, as different tieflings have like different configurations and shapes and sizes of horns. Some have certain other like changes in physical appearance from like the whatever the like phenotypical standard of their like origin race is. So in Thixus' case, like Thixus has like gray skin. Thixus has a set of horns. I don't know if Thixus has this or not. Does Thixus have a tail?
Thixus does.
Thixus does. Okay. So you see
he keeps it well hidden.
some tieflings don't have tails, it seems. Some don't have horns. You see diagrams of like individuals that otherwise look like they do not have any like phenotypic changes, but like in those cases there's a lot of like internal and anatomical drawings, as if he was trying to figure out if like there like can be tieflings that don't necessarily like outwardly look like tieflings, and if there's like internal changes, which has its own set of like kind of grim associations, in that like to have obtained these things, like he was definitely vivisecting people, which is not lovely. So I think that's probably, that's what you're able to glean looking through this thing. What all that kind of means. I will leave that to you to draw your conclusions. But if nothing else, like you are further reminded that like the scene was like a butcher and a monster and a psychopath.
Got it.
Alright, so that's kind of like what Thixus is sort of up to. What's anybody else doing?
At some point, when the crew is together, Murderbeard will sort of like present that like note that he found that was like the what's his face's instructions as to like what they wanted on Glazow. I'll present it to whoever wants to take it and be like,
do you guys need me to reread that note to you?
I can paste it in our chat.
Do you,
Christy,
do
you
one
good?
Do one of you guys want to reread it
You're almost
for the stream? Who is not in our chat?
I mean,
will
I can
do
read
it,
it.
or
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
can do
Read it. Yeah, go ahead.
It says, secure the island upon which the assorted pirates have made their base. A peaceful transition is preferable. Nothing on the surface is of importance, and collateral is acceptable. All haste should be taken in achieving this task, then you are to regroup with the armada to the south. My operative there has a task of the utmost importance. Signed, Oberon.
They don't care about the land of Glazo, then why the hell are they messing with it?
I mean, that's what they were saying earlier. Like he's not interested in the town. He just wants the island, like the full island. Why?
I think they want what's under it.
What makes you say that? I mean, nothing on the surface.
While Captain and I were visiting Willow,
Oh,
you remember Willow, right?
yeah. Did you give her my thing?
we
I'll
did.
be honest.
Did-
I didn't see her.
Oh.
More heard her from everywhere around me. It was a
Oh, her
strange.
hiding spots. Yeah.
Yeah. She mentioned something about a sending cave. Somewhere below the manor.
Does that ring a bell? Can I do a history check on that, Matt? Or an arcana or something?
Yeah, is that something I've heard?
No, I don't think this is information that would not have, regardless of like checks, does not have any meaning to you guys.
Okay.
But she knew things like, it's hard to describe, things that she wouldn't know, like about the people that built everything, the people that came before.
We know about, like, the Invarians,
You guys
right?
know about Invarians, yes.
Wait, hold on. Were the Invarians the one that built that temple where that lady turned into a Bodak and, like, absolutely rocked my world? Like, at the very beginning, was that Invarian?
As far as
I
you
think
know,
so.
it is old enough to be Invarian, certainly.
This is not the first time that we have heard about Invarians, or encountered something Invarian.
Right.
Actually,
If it happens
just
again, it's like...
for information, like Fort Blackwell is like
Also Invarian.
is an Invarian like structure, an ancient Invarian. It's been like sort of parts of it have been rebuilt with modern stuff, but there is like it ruined. In the whole civilization that exists now has been built on top of the like crumbled Invarians. So like you guys definitely have come across this stuff before.
Sending
What's even more strange about it is she said that we would be back.
Well, wasn't that always the plan? Bail out and then take it back?
Well, but Willow doesn't know what the pirate captain's plans were. Willow lives in
the walls of an abandoned manor that's falling apart around her, and yeah.
Do you think... No.
She had mentioned someone by the name of Droplet. But really didn't say too much about this individual.
Like a
I was...
person?
And
I don't know. I
was
don't...
Droplet giving her information? Like, is that how she's, like, learned? Like, was there a spy going on?
I think, maybe? I don't know. Like I said, it was all very strange. And I did my best to keep her talking because I didn't know what other information she might have.
I mean, if we're talking about a potential spy leaking information to a little girl in the manor, she must be close to whatever Sending's cave. What if there's like a underground tunnel system where they could hear and learn things without being seen?
Well, do we think that the Sending Cave is connected to the spell of the same name, or do we think the Sending Cave is sending other things?
Good question.
Very good
And
question.
then Droplet is like water. Do you think that that is some sort of entity like the spirit that was on Naporia when we had to fight?
Very possible, yeah. Very possible. There could be a connection there. I mean, the Guardians are everywhere.
I wonder if everyone at Terra Libra can tell us more about Sending Caves and something to add to the list of questions for them.
What I want to
aside from
know
the
is
translation.
why the
I
Empire is...
will hold that book up from Thysene and say
That's
there has
important.
got to be some other answers in here. This was a complete psychotic madman, but at least maybe some idea of what they might have been up to can maybe lead us in the right direction.
I feel like we're missing something. I don't know why, but it all feels connected, but I feel like there's a missing link somewhere. And if we're supposed to go back... Is she still on that island? And the Empire's going in, like... is the Emperor just going to find what they're looking for with no resistance?
Captain, forgive me if I'm incorrect on this, but didn't most of the defense of that establishment leave with the pirate crews?
For the most part, yes. It's mostly the civilians, and Una stayed behind as well.
Yeah, I think maybe the Terra Libre might know the history of the island. Like, how else would the Empire know that it's the resource they want if they're not wanting what's on the surface? Why do they know they want it?
They have the missing piece that we are looking for.
I think so too.
Or they just have stories. I mean, everything in the Ignian Empire is all about the history of the Invarians, and we're the descendants, and we're the rightful ones, and we're a bunch of...
Myths are often started in truth and twisted.
I mean, that's true, but what I'm saying is they might just be searching for something. It could be on Glasgow, it could be in the middle of Midland Day, we don't know.
Wait, because they're also looking for lunar warriors.
That's why I'm saying that could there be a connection with the things that we saw on Naporia and whatever is happening in Glasgow?
There has to be, at this point.
And because the other thing is that was the work of Pendragon, this is Oberon. And like, I mean, listen, I go by one name, but most of the time I feel like these people in the Empire have a lot of names, and they're very long elven names. Like Quel'Thalas, Tel'Thalan, the Third.
You're not wrong, Sela. You're not wrong. You got a point there. Well,
Not a bad pull on an NPC name. Slightly
Oh,
off.
can't wait till that guy tries to kill us.
Tel'Thalas, I think Tel'Thalas
Check name.
Quel'Thalan is what the World of Warcraft stuff.
Yeah, it literally
But
is.
Aranon
Tel
Tel'Thalar is the Empire. So, like,
Yeah.
pretty close to a decent NPC name pull.
I just think there's like a lot of connections here, but we need more information.
We need information.
Which means that we...
And we just hope that whatever the Empire's looking for, they don't find it while we're looking.
I'm still here, even though to you guys I'm frozen. The
Oh, okay.
the computer running the camera that you guys look at during stream just blue screened and is now restarting. But proceed uninterrupted.
Sorry, what were you saying, Sela?
I don't remember. It wasn't important.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
What do you think, Rowan? Do you have any sense on this?
On these sending caves and the stuff on the island?
Yeah, do you have any experience with
Empire?
anything like that?
No, I mean, I sat through a lot of history classes and a lot of training over my time. But that doesn't ring a bell at all, and I don't really know a lot about anything that could be happening there. Unfortunately. I mean, I wish I knew something. I'm kind of banking on Terra Libra giving us the answers we need for a lot of this.
Hmm.
And if they don't, maybe they can point us in the right direction.
Right.
Just...
This is sort of... Scylla, like, won't make eye contact with anybody when she says this, and she's kind of like, yeah. Like, probably, like, looks very awkward because she's not good at, like, hiding her feelings, even though she's really good at seeing everyone else's. She can't hide it. If we don't have any sort of leads from Terra Libra, we could go to where I come from and to try to ask some of the elders. We don't keep records the way that we don't really have texts, but we have stories, and our people were never really involved with the goings-on of the outside world, but when everyone had to leave, there might have been information that was gathered. It's an option. I'd rather not pursue it, but it's there.
Okay, so that's like plan D?
Mm.
Just out of curiosity. I understand not wanting to go home. Let's not go to where I'm from either. Where is that for you, though?
Oh my god, the name of the city. Oh my god, I'm forgetting
Even
it.
the country, anything.
What is the name of the city, Matt? The capital of the...
You are from Zresa, capital of Honorland.
From Zresa, it's the capital of Honorland. That is where my people have taken refuge for a long time.
Isn't Honorland where the orcs all want to go? Back to their tribe?
Yes.
I think so.
I mean, we're getting them there.
Well, we
one way
have
or
to
another. I'm not
drop
saying
them
we
off
have to go
there.
too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
convenient. Should
Nice
we
little
want to?
detour if we need to take it.
We really don't need to take it, but I would like to know what is happening.
We don't have to go anywhere. None of us really want to, as far as home goes.
I mean, we can hope plan A works.
Terra Libra, they give us all the answers. We
Right.
fix it. We kill all the Ignian jerkheads, and then go
That
about.
doesn't work. We figure out B and C, and if
Yeah.
those don't work, then we can go to plan D. I mean, I'm always ready for that. Just ask.
I will.
I think there's something much bigger than any of us that is going on right now, and whatever we think we are grasping of it is not scratching the surface.
I feel like there's a lot of moving parts. I think you're right.
Yeah, there always is. why the world is the
But
way
they
it is.
strangely feel connected. I don't know if I'm reaching, but it just...
No, they do. I just...
Oh boy.
It wouldn't make sense otherwise.
So, you guys spend probably many an hour during the next several days during your trip here, discussing Ignian plots and ancient buried Invarian secrets and strange magical nexuses with sentient spirit guardians of island nations, and how all of this might connect together. And the mystery remains. There are pieces to the puzzle that you don't have, but you guys, spend your hours discussing and planning and trying to see where the road ahead of you seems to be leading you. And it is strange in a way. You all kind of came to each other in this completely happenstance method that, all of you from your various corners of the world and personal quests that you had been on through this turn of fate, found yourself aboard this same slaver vessel and have gone through this insane journey together over the last handful of months, to the point where now you are becoming pretty famous pirates in this corner of the world, and more than that, you can begin to see these threads of happenstance and ties to one another that all seem to be pointing you somewhere. And you discuss what the future holds, and you can hope only that some of the answers may be illuminated when you reach Terra Libra, the home of the Ordinum Libri, the bookkeepers. And as you guys sail, we zoom back from the ship. We see the Grimm's Folly sailing in the direction of Naporia, and as we fade out, we see the island of Naporia crest the horizon, rising up as you guys grow closer to it, knowing that upon reaching harbor there, you will be ready to start the next leg of your journey, to head inland to seek answers to these questions that you have, these mysteries that are unfolding before you, and hopefully to find out exactly what it is that seems to be driving you all in this one direction. And that is where we will end both tonight's session and this chapter of our campaign for the Grimm's Folly. This is this is the first book of your guys' chapter, but this is the closing of the second book of our campaign, the second leg of the journey. So with that, all of you guys will be leveling up. You guys level up. So I believe the party, you guys are all now level 9. Is that correct?
I'm level 6 right now. Have
Oh,
we
you're
not
7
won
now.
level
Sorry, the other guys
level
just hit
6.
level 9.
Yeah, no, don't do
I
that.
was like,
You guys are now level
if you
7.
want us to be level 9, we can be.
I
know.
mean, if
The
you
other
wanna play
party's
it,
level
let's
9.
go.
Sorry, you guys are 6. You didn't just hop skip 2 levels. So you guys hit level 7. When next Tuesday, when the Fool's Errant wrap up their piece of this, we will they will close out, and they're closing in on wrapping up their conclusion to book 2 of this, and then over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to have some very interesting sessions as all roads lead to Rome, it seems, as both crews converge on Terra Libra, and we see where the next chapter of our story is going to go. So, as always, thank you to you guys, my players, for joining me every week and telling this very long-winded story together. Thank you guys who have been with us watching at home. I've seen some familiar faces in chat tonight, chatting along with us. Thank you to our sponsors, as always, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. And we will catch you next time. Be sure to check out other proficiency bonus shows right here on the network. Tuesday for the Fool's Errand, and then the following week again for more Grimm's Folly action. So we will bid you farewell. Thank you for joining us, and as always, we will see you next Tuesday.